Listen closely, because something sacred is unfolding in this very moment. Heaven has whispered your name, not just once, but again and again, until the echo reached this hour. You may not have heard it in the noise of your day, but the Spirit did. You have been called, marked, summoned by divine timing that has finally ripened. For a long time, it felt as if you were unseen, passed over, forgotten in the silence between seasons. You prayed, but heaven was quiet. You moved forward, but doors stayed locked. You wondered if maybe your name had been lost among the multitudes, if maybe God had moved on to others, more visible, more qualified, more ready. But now, the atmosphere has shifted. There is a tremor in the unseen, a vibration in the air that is not random. This is heaven's movement, and it carries your name upon its breath. Every delay, every silence, every closed door was heaven's way of positioning you for this exact call. You've walked through shadows that tried to convince you you were unworthy. You've been tested by loss, misunderstood by those closest to you, and pressed beyond what you thought you could endure. But that pressure, it was preparation. That isolation, it was initiation. Now the veil is lifting. The season of waiting is breaking open. Heaven is saying, your name has been called. And when heaven calls, everything in creation begins to move. Circumstances shift. People are stirred. Paths appear where there were none. Because this is not coincidence, it is command. You are standing in a divine summons, and soon you will see why you had to wait so long. This is the moment where heaven moves not slowly, not subtly, but suddenly. Heaven is aligning, angels are assigned, and destiny is awakening. Your name is being spoken in rooms you have never entered, and doors are responding to that sound. So listen carefully. This is not the end of your silence. It's the sound of your beginning. The message you're hearing right now, it did not originate from the world around you. It did not come from human reasoning or coincidence. It comes from the deep breath of God Himself, carried on the wings of divine timing, whispered through prophetic currents, meant only for those whose hearts are aligned to heaven's frequency. You have felt this before, haven't you? The subtle pull within your spirit when everything outside you seems ordinary, yet something inside you is stirring. That stirring is not imagination. It is divine recognition. It is the Creator calling what He planted within you to rise and take form. When heaven calls a name, it doesn't speak to where you've been. It speaks to where you're destined to stand. That's why you've felt a holy discontent in the places that once fit you. The call of God dislodges you from comfort. It shakes you loose from what's temporary so you can step into what's eternal. Right now, your name is being carried through the corridors of heaven's order. Assignments are shifting. Angels are repositioning. The divine ledger of time is unfolding, and your page is being turned. You may not see it yet, but something unseen has already recognized you. The same way the sea recognized Moses, the same way the fire refused to consume the 3 Hebrew men, the same way the stone rolled back for resurrection, creation is responding to your call. This message comes not to entertain your ears, but to awaken your awareness. Heaven is near. God is not distant. He is deliberate, and He is speaking with clarity to those who have been refined by delay. You were never disqualified by your mistakes. You were never forgotten in your waiting. Even your tears were collected as evidence of endurance. Even your silence was recorded as worship. And now heaven is moving not just for you, but through you. There are moments in spiritual history when God stops the motion of time to release a decree. And when that decree bears your name, nothing remains the same. This is that kind of moment. The weight you feel is not confusion, it's confirmation. The trembling in your heart is heaven's frequency resonating within you. You were called not merely to survive, but to signal. your life, your obedience, your faith. All of it is a message heaven is broadcasting through you. And the world is about to hear what heaven has known all along, that your purpose is not small and your timing is not late. Heaven has called your name, and now heaven moves. There comes a moment in every divine story when heaven's silence breaks. When what was once hidden in prayer begins to take form in reality. This right now is that moment. For years, your life has been a whisper between heaven and earth, a quiet negotiation between promise and process. You wondered why certain things never worked, why opportunities dissolved right before they bloomed, why every open door seemed to close just as you approached it. But the Spirit says, because I was saving the unveiling for an appointed hour. You were not being delayed, you were being timed. Everything about your journey has been synchronized to divine rhythm. Heaven never forgot your name. It was reserving it until the atmosphere could recognize your authority. Now that moment has arrived. The spiritual realm has shifted. The seal is broken. The scroll is being read. And within that scroll, your name shines in radiant ink written by the hand of destiny itself. When heaven calls a name, it does not speak softly. The sound ripples through every layer of creation. Winds change direction. People are stirred without knowing why. Paths that were obscured begin to clear. This is what's happening for you now, an unseen movement that will soon manifest in visible alignment. You've been hidden, but not forgotten. You've been tested, but not denied. Heaven hid you not to diminish you, but to preserve you from premature exposure. Like a seed buried beneath the soil, you were unseen, but not inactive. Every moment of pressure, every layer of darkness was preparation for emergence. And now heaven declares, rise. The call has gone out. Assignments are being dispatched. Heavenly messengers are moving with purpose. Everything connected to your destiny is awakening. There are people who are about to remember you without explanation. Names you haven't heard in years will surface in conversations. Emails, messages, opportunities. These are not coincidences. They are confirmations. The call of your name in heaven is producing recognition on earth. Understand this: when heaven moves, it is not chaotic, it is orchestral. Each event, each meeting, each moment of divine alignment is a note in a celestial composition written before time began. And you, beloved, are the crescendo. You are stepping into the fulfillment of something that was spoken long before you were born. You are the living manifestation of a promise that refused to die. Every generation before you carried fragments of it. But this is the season of completion. God is saying, you will see what others only believed for. You will walk through doors that generations before you prayed would open. And you will carry light into spaces that darkness thought it had secured forever. This prophecy is not abstract, it is active. Heaven's movement will soon touch every part of your life. In your relationships, divine order will be restored. In your work, hidden favor will reveal itself. In your spirit, peace will replace striving. In your surroundings, doors will open without force. And though it may start quietly, it will not stay quiet. What begins in private will soon be confirmed in public. Because this is not merely your breakthrough, it is heaven's announcement through you. You are the sign that the time has come. You are the vessel heaven chose to prove that delay does not mean denial. Every no was training your spirit to recognize the true yes. Every closed path was guarding you from counterfeit alignment. Every heartbreak was hollowing out space for divine fulfillment. Now the heavens declare your readiness. The Spirit testifies. The appointed time has come, and when heaven moves, no opposition can resist it. No voice of doubt can silence it. No force of darkness can reverse it. The prophecy has unfolded. Your name has been called, and heaven is already in motion. Soon what you've been praying for will not just knock at your door, it will step across the threshold and call you by name. When heaven calls your name, it is not sound, it is essence. It is not vibration in the air, but resonance in the spirit. That call is older than time itself. It was spoken over your being before you took your first breath, and yet only now has the echo reached the moment it was meant to awaken you. In the unseen realm, time is circular, not linear. What God declared at your beginning has been circling your life like an orbit, waiting for alignment. Every season you thought was wasted was actually repositioning you for resonance, the moment when your spirit, your calling, and heaven's timing would finally meet. That is what this season represents: alignment. Not the alignment of luck or chance, but divine synchronization, where destiny catches up to obedience. When heaven calls, the sound is creative. It does not merely announce, it constructs. The same voice that said, "Let there be light," is the voice that now says your name. And just as the void responded with radiance, so too will the darkness around you respond with manifestation. You are not being invited, you are being activated. For too long, you have carried light that had no place to rest. You've walked among those who couldn't recognize what you carried, and you mistook their blindness for your lack. But heaven has seen it all. Now that light is being summoned to emerge. Think of a seed, buried, pressed, silent. For months, perhaps years, it lies unseen. Yet within it, something sacred stirs, not decay, but design. And then one day, without fanfare or applause, the shell breaks. That breaking is painful, but it's also proof that growth has begun. You too have been in that hidden stage. Every heartbreak, every delay, every disappointment was not meant to destroy you. It was meant to crack open the shell of limitation around you. Now the Spirit declares, the soil has done its work. It's time to rise. This is why so much pressure surrounded you before this moment. You were not being punished, you were being formed. Because the higher the calling, the deeper the foundation must be. Heaven never builds glory on shallow ground. Every storm you endured was mixing with purpose. Every tear watered the roots of your destiny. Every lonely night strengthened your hearing so that when heaven finally whispered, you would recognize the sound. And now the sound has come. You are hearing in your spirit what your environment cannot yet see. You are feeling movement before your circumstances shift. That's because heaven always moves internally before it manifests externally. It's like dawn breaking before the world sees the sunrise. Light has already touched the horizon. That faint glow you feel within is not imagination, it's illumination. The darkness is not gone yet, but the morning has already begun. This is the meaning of your name being called heaven's recognition of readiness. You have completed the inner work that could only be forged in silence. Your humility, your endurance, your faith under pressure, all of it has calibrated your soul to heaven's rhythm. God could not promote you until your spirit could carry peace in the same places that once triggered fear. He could not open doors until you learned that closed doors were not rejection, but redirection. He could not trust you with visibility until you learned to worship in obscurity. Now you have become what heaven intended all along, a vessel that shines without striving, a light that does not flicker when tested, a soul that walks in authority without needing validation. That is the deeper prophecy. Heaven does not simply bless, it begets. When heaven calls your name, it's not rewarding you for endurance. It's multiplying you through it. It's saying, what I placed in you will now replicate in others. Your breakthrough is not just personal, it's generational. Your deliverance will be the blueprint for those who come after you. You are becoming the testimony that will awaken faith in others who thought God had forgotten them. So when you feel that divine stirring, that deep awareness that something is shifting, even if you can't explain it, know this. You are standing in prophecy made flesh. You are walking in the light that your prayers built in the dark. This is the season when heaven's rhythm overtakes your routine. What was once hard will now flow. What once resisted you will now respond to you. Because heaven is not simply observing your story, it is writing through you. You are the living scroll being unsealed. You are the divine word made visible. And when heaven calls your name, every false identity begins to crumble, every counterfeit connection falls away, and what remains is pure purpose. So walk with awareness. Everything familiar may begin to shift, but that is the proof that heaven is near. The old chapter has closed. The new one has already begun. You've felt it, haven't you? That quiet shift inside you, the sense that something unseen is aligning. You may not have the words for it, but your spirit knows the atmosphere has changed. When heaven calls your name, creation begins to respond. The signs are rarely loud or dramatic at first. They are gentle ripples in the river of your reality. But to the awakened, they are unmistakable. The first sign is divine restlessness. You begin to feel out of place in environments that once felt comfortable. What used to satisfy you now feels too small. You might even sense a holy frustration, not because you are ungrateful, but because heaven is stretching you beyond what was once enough. This restlessness is the Spirit's way of saying, you have outgrown this level. The second sign is unexplained favor. Doors begin to open that you didn't knock on. People begin to mention your name in rooms you've never entered. Resources, connections, and opportunities start finding their way toward you, not because of strategy, but because of assignment. Heaven is orchestrating recognition on your behalf. The third sign is repeated patterns. You'll notice certain numbers, words, or themes appearing everywhere in conversations, on screens, in dreams. That's not coincidence, that's conversation. Heaven uses repetition to confirm revelation. When something appears over and over, it's heaven highlighting a message that your spirit already carries. The fourth sign is divine displacement. People you once relied on may begin to distance themselves. Plans may suddenly fall apart. At first it feels like rejection, but look closer, it's redirection. Heaven is removing what can't walk with you into the next dimension of your calling. Every departure is a divine decluttering of your destiny. The fifth sign is spiritual acceleration. Things that once took years begin to move in days. The momentum feels sudden, but it's actually the result of long hidden preparation meeting divine timing. You'll start to sense that heaven is doing more in 1 month than the last 5 years combined. And then comes the sixth sign, confirmation through peace. This one is quiet but powerful. Even when everything around you feels uncertain, something deep within you settles. That peace is not passivity, it's proof. It's heaven's signature that says, yes, this is me. So if lately you've been sensing strange coincidences, intense dreams, emotional releases, or random bursts of clarity, pay attention. You are not imagining it. Heaven speaks in patterns, feelings, and alignments long before it speaks in words. Even nature responds to divine movement. You may feel the wind shift, notice timing that feels impossibly perfect, or sense that the world around you is quietly conspiring for your good. These are not mere signs, they are sacred signals. They're heaven's way of assuring you you are not lost. You are located. Every sign is a breadcrumb leading you deeper into obedience. Every coincidence is confirmation that the unseen is becoming seen. And when you begin to recognize the divine rhythm in your daily life, that's when you'll realize the supernatural is no longer a moment. it has become your atmosphere. Every divine calling carries a hidden cost. Before heaven crowns, it chisels. Before it promotes, it purifies. You see, when your name is called, the spiritual realm doesn't stay silent. Light awakens movement, but so does darkness. The moment heaven recognizes you, opposition often tries to distract you. It's not a sign of failure, it's proof of recognition. Many of the struggles you've been facing lately aren't random at all. They are responses to your awakening. The resistance you feel is confirmation that what's within you has begun to rise. This is the first challenge, the battle of atmosphere. You may sense a heaviness that wasn't there before, emotional waves that seem to come without reason. It's not weakness, it's warfare. Your spirit is expanding and everything around you is adjusting to that expansion. The second challenge is the silence test. Right after a moment of revelation, God often goes quiet. Not because He's left you, but because He's watching to see if you trust His voice enough to walk without constant confirmation. This silence is sacred. It's where your roots go deep. It's the space where revelation becomes conviction. Then comes the isolation test. When you are chosen, you will be separated not to punish you, but to protect what's being birthed. You may lose certain friendships, habits, or familiar comforts. People who once understood you may begin to misunderstand your peace, your pace, your priorities. But remember, you are not being rejected. You are being refined. Heaven does its deepest work in hidden rooms. The fourth challenge is spiritual exhaustion. The in-between season can feel endless, like you're standing at the threshold, but the door won't open. You begin to question your strength, your timing, your purpose. But listen closely. When you have reached the edge of your ability, you are standing at the beginning of God's. Exhaustion isn't the end. It's the signal that divine strength is about to take over. And finally, there is the test of patience. Heaven's promises are not microwaved. They are marinated in divine timing. You will see others move ahead, and the enemy will whisper that you're behind. But what looks like delay is actually protection. God is ensuring that when you step forward, you never have to step back again. All these challenges share one purpose: to purify your perspective. They teach you to depend not on evidence, but on essence, not on sight, but on spirit. You are not being attacked because you're weak. You're being tested because you're close. The pressure you feel is the atmosphere adjusting to the new you. Heaven is already unveiled. Remember this: diamonds are formed in darkness. Gold is purified by fire, and faith is perfected through patience. So don't curse the struggle, it's the proof that heaven's movement is near completion. The greater the warfare, the closer the unveiling. The enemy only fights what he fears. And what he fears most is your becoming. And now, the light breaks fully through the soil. The seed that once lay silent begins to unfold petal by petal under the warmth of divine timing. This is your transformation, not imagined, not delayed, but manifested. Everything heaven promised in the darkness is now coming into view. You will wake one morning and realize the heaviness is gone. The silence that used to scare you now feels sacred. The pain that once defined you now feels like proof. And the version of you that once only survived now thrives. This is what divine fulfillment looks like. Quiet at first, then unstoppable. It doesn't arrive with noise, but with knowing. Suddenly things align that you never forced. People recognize what they once overlooked. Paths open that no amount of striving could create. You will not have to chase it. It will flow to you because it was always yours. There will be moments when you pause, tears forming, realizing how everything you thought was loss became light. You will remember the sleepless nights and see how every one of them planted a root of endurance. You will remember the people who left and realize they were never exits. They were escorts guiding you towards sacred solitude. You will look at your reflection and hardly recognize it, because the wilderness refined you into something heaven always saw, radiant, wise, and unbreakable. This transformation is not merely external, it is spiritual symmetry. Your heart has become soft again, yet strong. Your spirit has become still yet powerful. Your faith has become gentle, yet grounded like never before. You are no longer defined by survival. You are identified by serenity. And when you walk into spaces now, you won't even need to announce what changed. Your presence will do it for you. The peace that surrounds you will speak louder than any introduction. The joy that rests on you will tell your testimony before your mouth ever opens. You have become the evidence of what divine process produces. You are walking into divine fulfillment, not just a single blessing, but a state of being where you move in rhythm with God's will. Doors open naturally because you are no longer knocking in desperation. You are walking in alignment. Favor finds you not because of effort, but because of essence. You attract what matches your healed frequency. And yet this is only the beginning. Every garden blooms in cycles, and your new season is a continuous unfolding of grace upon grace. There will be new assignments, new dimensions, new levels of responsibility. But this time you will rise with rest, walk with wisdom, and move with mercy. For every place that once broke you, God is now sending beauty. For every tear you cried in secret, He is sending double restoration. For every no you endured, He is preparing a now. This is your moment of divine fulfillment, where everything that once hurt begins to heal, and everything that once hindered you becomes holy ground beneath your feet. You will stand where you once fell and see fruit where you once saw failure. You will hold joy that once felt impossible, peace that passes understanding, and strength that doesn't shake under pressure. Heaven is saying, it is done. The promise has matured. The time has come, and the world will now witness the living garden that heaven has been growing within you all along. Take a breath, your waiting has ended. Your becoming is complete, and your fulfillment has begun. Now, as this divine word draws to a close, heaven releases a final blessing, sacred affirmations and prophetic declarations that seal your transformation and awaken gratitude in your heart for what has now come to pass. Take a deep breath. You have made it through the darkness and into the dawn. Everything that once buried you has now become the soil of your strength. You are living proof that nothing planted by God ever dies, it only transforms. The garden of your life is alive again. The roots are steady. The petals are open. The fragrance of your faith fills the air. Heaven looks upon you and smiles, saying, "This one endured. This one believed. This one bloomed." Now let these words anchor your spirit. Repeat them aloud. Let them echo through your home, your heart, your very atmosphere. Affirmation 1. I am divinely planted, perfectly timed, and deeply rooted in God's plan. No matter the season, I flourish in purpose. I am not buried. I am blooming. Affirmation 2. Peace surrounds me, favor follows me, and grace sustains me. I am covered by divine protection. I walk in safety and shine in serenity. Affirmation 3. My pain produced power, and my waiting birthed wisdom. Every delay was direction, every disappointment divine redirection. Nothing was wasted. Affirmation 4. I bloom without fear. I rise without apology. I live without limits. The light within me is heaven's reflection, unstoppable, eternal, and pure. As you speak these words, feel them take root. They are not just sentences, they are seeds of destiny. And as they settle into your heart, heaven waters them with favor. You are no longer the seed struggling in silence. You are the bloom. Heaven proudly displays proof that divine timing never fails. Your story has shifted from pain to purpose, from hiding to highlighting, from weeping to witnessing. So may the peace of God rest upon you like morning light upon a garden. May your days unfold in divine rhythm, your nights overflow with holy rest. May every step you take leave a trail of grace behind you. And may your presence remind others that miracles still grow in unexpected places. You are blessed beyond measure. You are guided without fear. And you are loved without limit. Go now carrying this truth within you. They tried to bury you, but God made you bloom. What began as darkness has become destiny, and the fragrance of your faith will never fade. It is done. It is sealed. It is fulfilled. Amen.